Welcome to Wisped Tales. This is a quiet place on the internet where stories, habits, and small daily moments come together to change lives. If you're here tonight, or this morning, or somewhere in between, you didn't come by accident. Today's story isn't fiction, but it will change the way you see your mornings and the way you speak English. Today, we're talking about a morning routine that can improve your English fast, not someday, not years later, but steadily, confidently, and naturally. This is for anyone who understands English but hesitates to speak, for anyone who knows the words but freezes when it's time to use them, and for anyone who wants to sound calm, fluent, and confident without forcing it. Imagine this. It's early morning in a quiet American neighborhood. The streets are still. Coffee shops haven't fully opened yet. The world feels slower, softer, like it's giving you permission to begin again. This is where your English journey truly starts, not in a classroom, not in a grammar book, but in these first quiet moments of the day. Most people wake up and immediately grab their phones, social media, messages, noise. But the people who learn English fast do something different. They protect their mornings, because the brain, right after waking up, is more open, more relaxed, less afraid of mistakes, and that's exactly the state you need to speak English confidently. The first rule of this routine is simple. English comes before the world. Before scrolling, before texting, before watching random videos, you give English your best energy when your mind is fresh and unafraid. Start by sitting up in bed or standing near a window. Take a slow breath. Don't rush. Fluency doesn't come from speed, it comes from calm repetition. Say a simple sentence out loud, not perfectly, just clearly. Good morning. Today is going to be a productive day. Say it again. Not louder, not faster, just more relaxed. This isn't about pronunciation drills yet. This is about getting comfortable hearing your own voice in English. Many learners avoid speaking because they don't like how they sound. This moment right here is where that fear begins to dissolve. Now move to the mirror. Yes, the mirror. Look at yourself. Not critically, not nervously, just honestly. Speak again. 1 or 2 sentences. Something real. I'm learning English, and I'm getting better every day. I don't need to be perfect to be confident. When you speak in front of a mirror, your brain connects language with identity. You're not pretending to be someone else, you're becoming yourself in English. This is how confidence is built, not in public, but in private, when no one is judging. Next, while brushing your teeth or making coffee, narrate your actions quietly. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making coffee. It smells good. Today feels calm. These simple sentences may seem too easy, but they are powerful. Fluency isn't built on big words. It's built on automatic thoughts. When English becomes part of your daily actions, it stops feeling foreign. Somewhere between the steam of your coffee and the morning light coming through the window, something shifts. English is no longer a subject you study, it becomes a language you live in. And this is only the beginning. This morning routine doesn't require hours, it requires intention. 10 quiet minutes done daily will outperform 2 hours done once a week. Consistency beats motivation every time. In the next part of our story, we'll step deeper into the morning, into listening, shadowing, and training your brain to think in English instead of translating. But for now, you don't need to rush fluency. You need to invite it every morning. As the morning moves forward, the world outside slowly wakes up. Cars begin to pass. Distant voices carry through the air. And this is the perfect moment to introduce the next powerful habit in your English routine, listening with intention. Most English learners listen passively. They play a video in the background while doing something else. Their ears hear English, but their brain doesn't receive it. Fluent speakers do the opposite. They listen actively, even if only for a short time. After your mirror practice and simple self-talk, sit down somewhere comfortable, a chair near the window, the edge of your bed, a quiet corner of your room. Put on a short piece of English audio. 5 to 10 minutes is enough. It could be a calm podcast, a slow YouTube video, or a short story told in a clear American accent. Choose voices that feel natural, not dramatic. Imagine someone speaking across the table from you in a quiet cafe in Seattle or Boston. You're not here to understand every word. You're here to understand the rhythm. Close your eyes if it helps. Listen to how sentences rise and fall. Notice how words connect. Pay attention to pauses. Native speakers don't rush. They breathe between thoughts. That breathing is part of fluency. Now comes the most important part, shadowing. Play one sentence. Pause. Repeat it out loud. Not perfectly, not aggressively, just naturally. If the speaker says, "Today we're going to talk about building confidence," you repeat it the same way, same calm tone, same pace. Your mouth learns faster when it copies music instead of rules. This trains your muscles, not just your memory. Many learners think fluency lives in the brain, but fluency lives in the mouth and ears. Shadowing creates a direct connection between what you hear and what you say without translation in between. At first, your voice may feel awkward. That's normal. You're forming new habits. Stay gentle with yourself. Confidence grows when pressure disappears. Repeat this for a few minutes. 3 sentences, 5 sentences. That's enough. Stop before you feel tired. Always leave your practice wanting more. This keeps your brain curious instead of resistant. Now, take one sentence you just repeated and make it your own. Change one word. If the sentence was, "I'm working on improving my English skills," you say, "I'm working on improving my speaking skills." This small change tells your brain, "I can create with this language." Creation is the doorway to fluency. As the morning continues, your confidence starts to feel quieter but stronger. You're not forcing English, you're letting it flow into your day. Before moving on, take a moment of silence. No English, no thinking. Just breathe. Let your brain absorb what it learned. Language grows in rest as much as in effort. But for now, sit with this feeling. You spoke, you listened, you stayed calm. That's real progress. Now that you've practiced speaking and shadowing in the morning, it's time to enter one of the most important steps, thinking in English. This is what separates learners from fluent speakers. The shift doesn't happen overnight, but a morning routine can accelerate it faster than you think. Imagine walking to the kitchen, coffee in hand. Instead of thinking in your native language and translating into English in your head, you begin to name your thoughts directly in English. Simple things first. I need to pour the milk. The coffee smells strong today. I should check the weather. These may seem basic, even repetitive, but they are exercises in creating a direct connection between your mind and the language. When your thoughts start flowing naturally in English, speaking becomes almost effortless. You no longer search for words. They come to you like water finding its path downhill. Next, add a layer of curiosity. Instead of just naming objects, describe them fully. Take the coffee cup in your hand. Don't just say cup. Notice its color, shape, texture, and even the warmth. Speak out loud. This coffee cup is ceramic and smooth. It has a blue pattern on the outside, and it feels warm in my hands. I like the smell of the coffee inside. This simple exercise does three things: expands your vocabulary naturally, practices forming longer sentences without pressure, and trains your brain to think descriptively in English instead of relying on translation. The power of this routine is subtle but massive. 5 minutes of describing objects in your room, your coffee, your surroundings, and even your morning sky can dramatically improve fluency. By the time you leave the house, your mind is already running in English, making conversations easier, faster, and more confident. After a week of this, you'll notice that during casual conversations, at a coffee shop, with a coworker, or even online, you start forming sentences without hesitation. You stop mentally pausing to translate and simply speak. Confidence is built silently in these morning minutes. Ask yourself 3 questions out loud. What am I grateful for today? What do I want to achieve this morning? What will I do to improve my English today? Answer in full sentences in English. The key is to speak freely, without judgment. These reflective statements reinforce confidence, expand vocabulary, and make English a living part of your thoughts. By the end of this step, your morning is no longer ordinary. It becomes a powerful training session for your mind and speech. You've set the foundation for thinking, speaking, and eventually speaking fluently without effort. Now that your mind is actively thinking in English, it's time to add writing to your morning routine. Writing in the morning isn't about essays or grammar exercises. It's about translating your thoughts, feelings, and observations directly into English. Think of it as a bridge connecting your inner voice to your spoken English. Begin with a simple journal. You don't need fancy notebooks, just a piece of paper or a notes app on your phone. Write about your morning, what you see, hear, feel, and plan. For example, I woke up early today and the sun is shining through the window. The birds are chirping outside and I feel calm. I am drinking my coffee and thinking about improving my English. Notice how natural this becomes once you've already practiced speaking and thinking in English. Writing reinforces what your brain already knows, but it also challenges you to structure your thoughts more clearly. Next, try expanding your sentences. Instead of writing, "I drank coffee," write, "I drank a hot cup of coffee this morning while looking outside at the quiet street. The steam rose slowly and the aroma was comforting." By doing this, you practice descriptive language and sentence variety, both essential for fluent speaking. Your brain begins to remember words not just as vocabulary, but as part of meaningful sentences. Another effective exercise is writing your thoughts from memory. Think about something you did yesterday or a conversation you had. Write it down in English. Don't worry if your sentences aren't perfect. The goal isn't perfection, it's building a habit of forming sentences naturally. You can also combine listening with writing. Play a short audio clip in English, a news segment, a podcast, or a short story, and try to summarize it in a few sentences in your own words. This helps improve listening comprehension, vocabulary, and sentence formation all at once. After a few minutes of writing, read your sentences out loud. This is where speaking, listening, and writing intersect. Your mouth, ears, and brain are all aligned. You're not just learning English, you're living it. Finally, add a goal-oriented prompt. Each morning, write down 1 or 2 goals for your English practice that day. For example, today I will use 3 new words in conversations. Today I will speak with a friend or record myself reading for 5 minutes. Writing down these goals adds accountability. Even if no one else sees your journal, your brain does. It keeps you consistent and focused. By now, your morning is becoming a complete English training session. Speaking in front of the mirror, listening and shadowing, thinking in English, writing thoughts and goals. These combined habits set the stage for rapid improvement, and this is just the beginning. Start small. Pick something that genuinely interests you. It could be a short story, a news article, a blog post, or even an inspirational piece. The most important thing is that it keeps your attention. Your brain learns fastest when it's engaged and curious. Settle into your reading spot, morning sunlight, a comfortable chair, or a quiet corner. Begin reading slowly. Don't rush. The goal isn't speed, the goal is comprehension and absorption. As you read, underline or note down words or phrases that feel new or important. Later, you will practice them in your speech and writing. Here's a simple technique to deepen your learning. Read aloud for at least 5 minutes. Reading aloud trains your pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. It bridges the gap between written and spoken English. When you read, your mouth practices speaking and your brain reinforces comprehension simultaneously. Next, add active questioning to your reading. Ask yourself questions about the text. What is the main idea of this paragraph? Which words are new and what do they mean in context? Can I summarize this section in 1 or 2 sentences? After you answer these questions, speak your summary out loud. This converts passive reading into active practice. By repeatedly doing this, you're training your brain to think, speak, and write English fluently. You can also introduce vocabulary expansion naturally. Keep a small notebook or a digital note where you list new words and phrases. For each word, write a simple sentence using it. For example, if the word is serene, you might write, "The morning sky looked serene with soft shades of pink and orange." Then say the sentence out loud. This habit reinforces the connection between reading, writing, and speaking. The more you encounter words in context, the easier it becomes to recall and use them naturally. Finally, combine reading with listening when possible. If your story or article has an audio version, follow along while listening. This technique, called reading along, helps with pronunciation, rhythm, and comprehension all at once. Your brain learns faster when multiple senses are involved. By the end of this reading session, your morning routine becomes a complete language workout. You've trained your mouth, ears, eyes, and brain simultaneously. Your confidence grows quietly but steadily. Now that your morning includes speaking, listening, thinking, writing, and reading, it's time to take a crucial step: speaking practice beyond yourself. Practicing English in front of a mirror or in your journal is powerful, but real fluency comes when you use it with others or record yourself to listen critically. Start simple. If you live alone, begin by recording yourself on your phone. Speak about your morning, your plans, or any topic that interests you. For example, "Today, I woke up early, practiced English, and now I'm preparing breakfast. I feel excited to continue learning and improving." Record for 3 to 5 minutes, then play it back. Listen carefully, not to judge yourself harshly, but to notice patterns. Are your sentences smooth? Are there words you tend to hesitate on? Is your pronunciation clear? This feedback loop is golden. It allows your brain to recognize and correct mistakes independently without fear or embarrassment. If you have a friend, family member, or language partner, practice speaking with them. Even 10 minutes of casual conversation is extremely effective. Choose a topic you both enjoy. Ask questions. Respond in full sentences. Avoid translating from your native language. Instead, think in English first. Another technique is self-dialogue. Imagine you are in a cafe meeting a friend. Ask yourself questions and respond out loud. For example, "How was your weekend?" "It was great. I went hiking and spent time in nature. It was relaxing and refreshing." This method trains your brain to formulate sentences naturally, without hesitation. Your mind learns to anticipate questions and generate answers quickly, which is exactly what happens in real-life conversations. During this stage, don't worry about perfection. The goal is comfort and flow. Fluency is about expressing ideas, not sounding flawless. Every mistake is a step forward. Every pause is an opportunity to think clearly, and every sentence spoken strengthens your brain's language pathways. To reinforce this habit, consider daily reflection conversations. At the end of your morning routine, speak aloud for 2 minutes about what you learned or observed. For instance, "This morning I practiced reading, listening, and speaking. I learned new words like serene and anticipate. I feel more confident speaking in English." These reflections make your progress tangible. Your brain connects the effort you put in with the results you hear and feel. Confidence builds silently but steadily as you repeat these exercises day after day. Finally, remember, the more you speak English, the more naturally it becomes part of your identity. You stop thinking about being a learner and start thinking like a communicator. Start with simple tasks around the house. As you cook breakfast, narrate each step out loud in English. Don't just think, "I'm making eggs." Instead, say, "I am cracking 2 eggs into this bowl. I will whisk them carefully. I can hear the sizzling sound as I pour the eggs into the heated pan. The smell of the eggs is making the kitchen smell delicious." Notice how adding detail turns simple tasks into language exercises. Your mind naturally produces sentences. You don't need a textbook or a teacher. Your surroundings become your lesson plan. Next, integrate English into commuting or travel time. If you drive or take public transport, use that time to think and speak in English. Describe what you see, predict events, or plan your day aloud. For example, I see a man walking his dog. The sky looks cloudy. Maybe it will rain. Today, I will finish my work efficiently and practice speaking English for at least 30 minutes. Even small steps count. By continuously forming sentences, your brain becomes accustomed to producing language spontaneously. This is the exact habit that separates fluent speakers from those who hesitate or translate constantly in their heads. Another technique is environmental storytelling. Wherever you are, create small mental stories about your surroundings. If you're at a cafe, a woman is reading a book. She looks very focused. I wonder what story she is reading. The aroma of coffee fills the air, and the music in the background is soft and calming. These micro-stories may seem minor, but they strengthen vocabulary, sentence structure, and descriptive skills. Your brain practices English automatically, without feeling like formal study. To deepen your practice, interact with objects or people in English. If you see a sign, read it aloud. If you're at the grocery store, name items in English or describe them. Even saying simple sentences like, I need 2 tomatoes and a loaf of bread, reinforces real-life usage. Consistency is key. The more English becomes part of your routine, the more natural it feels. By the end of the day, you'll notice that you're thinking in English more often and hesitating less when speaking. Finally, tie this practice back to your morning routine. Before ending your day, reflect aloud on how you used English throughout your daily activities. Simple sentences like, today I spoke in English while cooking, commuting, and walking. I noticed I remembered words more easily. I feel proud of my progress. This reinforces habit formation, creating a loop where your morning routine feeds daily usage, and daily usage strengthens morning practice. Start your day with a short podcast or video that aligns with your interests. It could be a 5-minute motivational clip, a news segment, or a story narrated in English. The key is to engage actively. Don't just play it in the background. Listen carefully to pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. If the speaker says, confidence doesn't come from knowing every word, it comes from speaking anyway. You repeat, confidence doesn't come from knowing every word. It comes from speaking anyway. This trains your mouth and ears simultaneously. You are no longer just learning words, you're learning the music of English. Next, integrate songs into your routine. Pick songs with clear lyrics and moderate tempo. Sing along or speak the lyrics aloud. Music strengthens memory, improves pronunciation, and makes learning enjoyable. It also helps you naturally remember phrases and sentence structures. For deeper learning, choose one short clip or song segment each morning and focus on it. Break down the sentences, notice expressions, and try to use them in your own speaking. For example, if a line says, "Every small step takes me closer to my goal," you could adapt it in your journal or speaking. "Every small action I take in English brings me closer to fluency." Another effective approach is repetition with comprehension. Listen to the same clip multiple times. Each time, notice something new, the tone, vocabulary, or a grammatical pattern. Then speak or write what you understood in your own words. This reinforces both comprehension and production. If you like, Combine media with journaling. After listening to a podcast, video, or song, write a short paragraph about it, then read it aloud. This reinforces listening, writing, and speaking all at once. Finally, remember that variety matters. Change your sources every few days. One morning, a podcast, the next, a short story, another day, a song. Your brain thrives on diversity. Exposure to different accents, speech speeds, and topics makes English feel natural in any context. By integrating media into your morning and daily routine, you are training your brain to process English in real-life contexts. You're not memorizing sentences, you're experiencing the language. After practicing speaking, listening, thinking, writing, reading, and media immersion, the next crucial part of your morning routine is reflection and review. Reflection is what turns practice into progress, and review is what solidifies new habits. Without this step, your morning efforts may fade by evening. Begin with a calm moment, perhaps sitting at your desk or near the window. Close your eyes for a few seconds and think about what you practiced this morning. What did you speak out loud? What new words or phrases did you learn? Which sentences flowed naturally, and where did you hesitate? Next, write a short summary in your journal. For example, this morning I practiced speaking in front of the mirror, listened to a podcast about confidence, and read a short story. I learned 3 new words: serene, anticipate, and subtle. I feel more confident speaking and describing my thoughts. Writing a summary is powerful because it forces your brain to organize information. You are taking scattered experiences and creating a coherent record. Over time, these entries become proof of your progress and motivation to continue. After writing, speak your summary aloud. This final repetition connects your morning practice with memory and fluency. By speaking and writing about the same content, your brain reinforces sentence structures, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Another technique is goal reflection. Look at the goals you set in your morning routine. Did you achieve them? If yes, celebrate quietly. If not, ask yourself why and make a plan to improve tomorrow. For instance, today I wanted to use 3 new words in conversation. I used 2. Tomorrow I will review these words again and practice them while describing my breakfast. This process makes learning deliberate. Each morning becomes more effective because you are tracking progress, identifying gaps, and planning actionable steps. Finally, combine reflection with gratitude in English. Say aloud, I am grateful for my dedication to improving English. I am grateful for the quiet morning and the time I can spend learning. Gratitude reinforces a positive mindset, reducing anxiety and fear of mistakes, 2 major barriers to speaking confidently. It creates a mental state where learning becomes enjoyable rather than stressful. By the end of this reflection, your morning routine is complete. You have spoken, listened, read, written, shadowed, used media, practiced with imagination, and reflected. Your brain has been engaged in multiple ways, and fluency is no longer a distant goal, it is growing quietly within you. Now that your mornings include reflection and review, it's time to take your speaking skills to the next level with advanced exercises. These exercises are designed to push your fluency, confidence, and ability to think quickly in English. The first technique is storytelling. Take a short personal experience from your life, or even a fictional scenario, and narrate it aloud in English. For example, yesterday I went for a walk in the park. The sun was shining and the wind was cool. I saw a little boy flying a bright red kite. He was laughing as it danced in the air. I remembered my own childhood and felt a wave of nostalgia. Notice how storytelling forces you to use descriptive language, organize thoughts chronologically, and practice longer sentences. It's one of the fastest ways to develop natural fluency because your brain has to construct language actively, not just repeat memorized phrases. Next, practice improvisation. Pick a random topic, object, or image in your room and speak about it for 1 to 2 minutes. For example, you might choose a coffee mug and say, "This mug is my favorite because it reminds me of the small cafe I visited last summer. I like its shape and the pattern on the handle. Every morning it gives me a sense of comfort." Improvisation trains your mind to think in English without pre-planning. It teaches you to form sentences on the spot, just as you would in real-life conversations. Another effective method is situational role play. Imagine common scenarios where you might need to speak English: ordering food at a restaurant, asking for directions, attending a meeting, or introducing yourself to someone new. Speak both roles if alone, or practice with a partner. "Hi, I'd like a medium latte, please." "Thank you. Could I also get a croissant?" "Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the library?" Role play builds confidence and helps you anticipate language patterns in everyday situations. Over time, your brain will automatically retrieve these patterns when needed, reducing hesitation. To further strengthen fluency, combine storytelling and reflection. After improvising, summarize what you said aloud or in writing. This repetition reinforces vocabulary, sentence structure, and clarity of thought. Finally, remember to time yourself occasionally. Speak on a topic for 2 or 3 minutes without stopping. Don't worry about mistakes. The goal is continuous speech, which improves rhythm, flow, and confidence. Your brain learns to sustain English communication naturally. By integrating storytelling, improvisation, and role play into your morning routine, you're preparing yourself to speak fluently and confidently in any situation. Your English is no longer passive, it's active, alive, and ready to respond. Now that you're comfortable speaking and improvising, it's time to focus on pronunciation and accent refinement. Many learners know words but hesitate because they fear they don't sound right. The good news is that with consistent morning practice, you can sound natural and confident without changing who you are. Start with vowel and consonant sounds. English has some sounds that may not exist in your native language, and these can subtly affect clarity. Choose a few tricky sounds each morning, like th, r, or v, and repeat them slowly, exaggerating the movements of your mouth. For example, this, that, those, three, through. Notice the tongue placement and airflow. Don't rush. 5 to 10 minutes of focused practice on these sounds will gradually make them second nature. Next, practice intonation and stress. English isn't flat, it has rhythm. Certain words are stressed, others are softer, and the pitch rises and falls naturally. Take a sentence like, "I really enjoyed the movie yesterday." Repeat it aloud, paying attention to the natural rise and fall. Stress on really and enjoyed, softer on the and yesterday. You can even record yourself and compare with a native speaker to notice subtle differences. Another useful technique is minimal pairs, words that sound similar but have different meanings, like ship and sheep, or bat and bet. Practice them in sets, repeating slowly and clearly. This strengthens your listening and speaking simultaneously, making your pronunciation sharper and more precise. Don't forget shadowing with media. Choose a short video clip, podcast, or song and mimic the speaker exactly: tone, stress, rhythm, and pauses. This is one of the fastest ways to refine your accent naturally. Finally, integrate pronunciation into your daily routine. While making coffee, brushing teeth, or walking, silently or aloud, exaggerate certain sounds. Say sentences like, The sun is shining brightly this morning. Focus on smooth, connected speech rather than individual words. Your goal is fluidity. Over time, these small exercises add up, giving your speech a polished, natural sound without sounding forced or unnatural. By combining sound drills, intonation practice, minimal pairs, and shadowing, you're training your mouth, ears, and brain simultaneously. You're no longer just speaking English, you're sounding like someone who's confident, calm, and fluent. Now that your pronunciation and accent are improving, it's time to focus on the mindset and confidence side of learning English. Speaking fluently isn't just about knowing words or grammar. It's about feeling comfortable, reducing fear, and believing in yourself. Your morning routine is the perfect time to strengthen this mental foundation. Start by acknowledging small wins every morning. As soon as you wake up or after your initial practice, remind yourself, "Yesterday, I spoke English without hesitation for 5 minutes. I used new words correctly in sentences. I understood a podcast better than before." Celebrating these wins creates positive reinforcement in your brain. Instead of focusing on mistakes, you focus on progress, which naturally builds confidence. Next, practice self-affirmations in English. Stand in front of the mirror and say, "I am becoming fluent in English every day. I am confident speaking and making mistakes is part of learning. I express myself clearly and naturally." These statements may feel strange at first, but repetition rewires your brain. Over time, you'll notice a shift. Hesitation decreases, fear disappears, and your mind welcomes English as a natural part of daily life. Another powerful strategy is visualization. Close your eyes for 1 or 2 minutes and imagine yourself in real-life situations, talking to a coworker, ordering food, attending a meeting, or giving a presentation. Visualize speaking confidently, choosing words effortlessly, and feeling relaxed. The brain often cannot distinguish between vivid imagination and real experience, which means these mental rehearsals directly improve real-life fluency. Also, embrace a growth mindset. Mistakes are not failures, they're opportunities. If a word doesn't come out right, or if you pause, silently say to yourself, "This is part of learning. I am improving." Shift your focus from perfection to improvement. Over time, your confidence grows naturally because it is built on action, not fear. Finally, integrate morning motivation into your routine. Listen to a short motivational clip or read a few lines that inspire you. It doesn't have to be about English specifically, it just needs to put your mind in a positive, energized state. A motivated mind learns faster, retains more, and speaks more confidently. By building this mental foundation, your mornings are no longer just a time to practice words, they become a time to grow your courage, focus, and self-belief. Confidence, after all, is half of fluency. Now that we've covered speaking, listening, reading, writing, pronunciation, and mindset, it's time to combine everything into a structured 1-hour morning session. A well-planned routine ensures that each minute of your morning contributes to steady, measurable progress in English. Start with the first 10 minutes immediately after waking up. Sit quietly, take deep breaths, and do your mirror speaking and self-affirmations. Say simple sentences about your day, your goals, or how you feel. Focus on clarity, calmness, and confidence. This primes your brain and sets the tone for productive practice. Next, move to listening and shadowing for 10 to 15 minutes. Choose a short podcast, news clip, or story. Listen attentively, repeat sentences aloud, and mimic intonation, rhythm, and stress. Pause when needed. Shadowing trains your mouth and ears simultaneously, creating natural fluency. After that, spend 10 minutes writing. Summarize what you just listened to, journal your thoughts, or describe your surroundings. Write in full sentences. Don't worry about perfection, focus on fluency and clarity. After writing, read your sentences aloud. This strengthens both your writing and speaking skills. Then, allocate 10 minutes to reading. Pick an article, story, or blog post. Read aloud to practice pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. Highlight new words or expressions and try to incorporate them into your speech and writing later in the day. This repetition deepens memory and reinforces learning. Next, spend 10 minutes practicing improvisation and storytelling. Pick a random topic, object, or recent experience and speak continuously for 2 to 3 minutes. Challenge yourself to form longer sentences, use descriptive words, and connect ideas logically. If possible, record yourself to monitor improvement. Finally, dedicate the last 5 to 10 minutes to reflection and review. Speak or write about what you practiced, summarize your achievements, and set goals for the rest of the day. Include gratitude and positive reinforcement. This consolidates all your morning practice and keeps your motivation high. This structured routine might feel long at first, but remember, consistency beats intensity. Even if some days are shorter, maintaining the habit is what produces real results. Over weeks, you'll notice faster thinking, smoother sentences, and growing confidence. By combining these elements into a single hour, your morning becomes a comprehensive language workout, training your brain, mouth, ears, and eyes all at once. You're no longer just studying English, you're living it, feeling it, and expressing it naturally. By now, your mornings are full of structured practice, but one more essential element is tracking progress and adjusting your routine. Without monitoring your growth, it's easy to plateau or feel stuck. Tracking helps you see improvement, identify weaknesses, and refine your morning routine for maximum results. Start by keeping a simple progress log. Each morning, note what activities you did, speaking, writing, reading, listening, shadowing, storytelling, how long you spent on each, new words or phrases learned, challenges or mistakes encountered, achievements or improvements noticed. For example, today I shadowed a 5-minute podcast, practiced storytelling for 3 minutes, and learned 4 new words: anticipate, subtle, serene, and resilience. I felt confident speaking aloud. This small habit has a huge psychological benefit. Seeing tangible progress, even small victories, reinforces motivation. Over time, your log becomes proof of consistent effort, which is essential for maintaining confidence. Next, set weekly review checkpoints. At the end of each week, read through your daily logs. Ask yourself questions like, which activity helped me the most? Where did I hesitate or struggle? Which new words or expressions did I successfully use in conversation? Based on these observations, adjust your routine. Maybe you need more time on pronunciation, or you want to increase storytelling practice. These tweaks make your routine dynamic and personalized, ensuring you never waste effort on ineffective methods. Another effective method is self-recording progress. Once a week, record a 2 to 5 minute speech on any topic. Compare it with previous recordings to notice improvements in fluency, pronunciation, and confidence. Hearing yourself improve is a powerful motivator. Finally, celebrate your milestones. Even small achievements like using a new word correctly, speaking without hesitation, or completing a full shadowing session should be acknowledged. Positive reinforcement keeps you excited and consistent. By tracking progress and refining your routine, your morning practice transforms from repetitive habits into a strategic language development plan. Every morning, every week, you are actively shaping your English fluency, not leaving it to chance. Now that you are tracking progress, the next step is learning how to overcome plateaus and maintain motivation. Every language learner hits moments where improvement feels slow or invisible. These plateaus can be discouraging, but with the right mindset and strategies, you can push through and keep advancing. First, recognize that plateaus are a natural part of learning. Your brain is consolidating knowledge, forming new neural connections, and adapting to higher levels of complexity. Even if you feel stuck, your fluency is silently improving in the background. To break through a plateau, change your routine slightly. If you've been focusing mostly on shadowing, add more storytelling. If you've been journaling, add a few minutes of role-playing. These small changes stimulate your brain in new ways and prevent stagnation. Next, set micro goals. Instead of focusing only on big milestones like become fluent, aim for daily or weekly goals. Use 5 new words correctly in sentences today. Speak aloud for 10 consecutive minutes without stopping. Record a 1-minute story using new vocabulary. Achieving these micro goals provides a sense of accomplishment, keeping motivation high. Another strategy is mixing fun activities into practice. Watch a short YouTube video, sing along to a song, or play an English language game. The more enjoyable the practice, the more your brain engages and retains language naturally. Learning feels effortless when it's fun. Stay connected to your long-term vision. Remind yourself why you started learning English. Whether it's career growth, travel, or confidence in conversations, visualizing your goal strengthens determination. Each morning, take a few seconds to picture yourself confidently speaking English in real situations. Finally, practice positive self-talk during plateaus. Instead of thinking, "I'm not improving," say, "I am learning every day. Every practice counts, even if progress is slow. My fluency is growing." This mindset reduces frustration and keeps your focus on consistent effort rather than temporary setbacks. By applying these strategies, plateaus become opportunities rather than obstacles. Your morning routine continues to be effective, and your motivation remains strong, paving the way for faster improvement. Now that you've mastered speaking, listening, reading, writing, pronunciation, mindset, and vocabulary strategies, it's time to focus on advanced vocabulary building techniques. Expanding your word bank allows you to express ideas more precisely, sound more natural, and boost confidence in conversation. Start with contextual learning. Don't memorize isolated words, learn them within sentences. For example, instead of just memorizing resilient, use it in context. She remained resilient despite all the challenges at work. Context helps your brain remember meaning, pronunciation, and proper usage simultaneously. Next, use the 5-2-1 method. Each morning, pick 5 new words from your reading or listening exercises. Write 2 sentences for each word, and then speak 1 story or paragraph using all 5 words. This technique ensures that new vocabulary is actively processed, not just passively recognized. Another effective strategy is word associations. Link new words to images, emotions, or personal experiences. For instance, if you learn the word serene, visualize a calm lake at sunrise or a peaceful moment you experienced. Associating words with vivid imagery strengthens memory and recall. Additionally, practice synonyms and antonyms. Learning related words broadens your expressive range. For example, if you learn happy, also explore joyful, content, or ecstatic. Knowing these variations allows you to choose the right word for every situation, making your English richer and more precise. Don't forget to review and recycle words regularly. Include your new vocabulary in your morning journal, speaking exercises, or role-play activities. The more you actively use a word, the more naturally it becomes part of your speech. Finally, engage with native-level content, books, articles, or podcasts above your current level. Encountering new words in authentic contexts teaches nuance, idiomatic usage, and collocations. Even if you don't understand everything, exposure accelerates natural learning. By integrating these vocabulary techniques into your morning and daily practice, you will notice faster recall, more expressive sentences, and growing confidence in conversations. Your brain starts to think in richer, more descriptive English naturally. By now, you've built a strong foundation in speaking, listening, reading, writing, pronunciation, mindset, and vocabulary. The next step is applying all these skills in real-life conversations. This is where fluency truly manifests, when you can speak confidently, naturally, and without hesitation in everyday situations. Reduce noise starts small with casual interactions. Speak to a friend, family, or language partner about your day. Even simple exchanges like, "Good morning, how did you sleep?" "I had coffee and practiced English this morning. It felt great." These small conversations build confidence and comfort. Focus on expressing ideas, not perfect grammar. Remember, communication is the goal. Next, challenge yourself with extended conversations. Choose a topic such as travel, hobbies, work, or current events, and discuss it for 5 to 10 minutes. This pushes your brain to retrieve vocabulary, organize sentences, and express ideas coherently. If alone, record yourself speaking. Later, play it back and identify areas to improve. Incorporate question and answer practice. Ask questions to yourself or your partner and respond in full sentences. For example, "What did you do last weekend?" "I went hiking and spent time outdoors. The fresh air was refreshing, and I felt energized for the week ahead." This trains your mind to answer spontaneously, just like in real conversations. Another advanced strategy is conversation simulation. Imagine a scenario, a job interview, a cafe, or a social event. Role-play both sides if alone, or practice with a partner. For instance, "Hi, I'd like a cappuccino, please." "Sure, would you like any pastries with that?" Simulated conversations build fluency, prepare you for real situations, and reduce anxiety when interacting with others in English. Finally, always reflect and adjust after each conversation. Ask yourself, which words or phrases did I use well? Where did I hesitate? How can I improve for next time? By consistently applying these real-life exercises, your morning practice transforms into functional fluency. You don't just know English, you can use it confidently, naturally, and effectively in any situation. By this stage, your morning routine and real-life conversation practice are strong, but the next level is thinking in English throughout your entire day. Immersing yourself mentally in English accelerates fluency far faster than isolated practice sessions because your brain begins to process English as a natural part of life. Start with internal narration. As you go about your day, cooking, commuting, or working, describe your actions in English. For example, "I am chopping vegetables for lunch. I need 2 carrots and a bell pepper. I hope I don't cut my finger." These simple narrations train your brain to generate English sentences without translation, making spontaneous speaking much easier. Next, practice mental conversations. Imagine interacting with a friend or colleague in English. Run through questions, answers, and responses silently in your mind. For example, "What should I say if someone asks about my weekend?" I can say, "I had a relaxing weekend and practiced English in the mornings." This prepares your brain to react quickly in real situations. Another technique is thought journaling on the go. Whenever a new idea or observation comes to mind, write it down in English on your phone or a small notebook. Short sentences like, "The sky is cloudy. Maybe it will rain today." "I need to finish my work before 5 p.m." These micro-practices build vocabulary, sentence structure, and fluency naturally. Listening also continues to play a role. While walking or commuting, listen to English audio, podcasts, music, or audiobooks, and try to follow along mentally. Repeat key phrases in your mind or softly out loud. This combines listening comprehension with internal speech, reinforcing brain pathways for English. Finally, end your day with a mental review. Reflect on all the moments you thought, spoke, or listened in English. Mentally highlight successes and note areas for improvement. This reinforces learning and ensures your brain stays in English mode even outside your dedicated morning routine. By integrating English thinking into your full day, you are creating continuous immersion. Your fluency accelerates naturally, your hesitation decreases, and your mind starts functioning in English without effort. Now that you've learned how to structure your morning routine, practice speaking, listening, reading, writing, pronunciation, mindset, vocabulary, real-life conversations, and full-day English thinking. The final key step is maintaining long-term consistency. Consistency is what transforms effort into true fluency. The first principle is daily commitment. Even if you only have 30 minutes some mornings, dedicate time to practice. Consistency matters more than duration. Your brain learns best through repetition, not cramming. Next, keep your routine flexible. Life can be unpredictable, so adapt without losing the habit. On busy days, combine listening and speaking while commuting. On relaxed days, expand your journaling and storytelling. Flexibility prevents burnout and keeps learning enjoyable. Also, track progress continually. Continue using your log, recordings, and weekly reflections. Seeing tangible improvement, your faster thinking, smoother sentences, and richer vocabulary reinforces motivation and builds confidence. Integrate long-term goals alongside daily micro-goals. Think about where you want to be in 3, 6, or 12 months. Maybe it's speaking fluently in meetings, traveling without hesitation, or understanding English media effortlessly. Break these goals into daily habits, and every morning remind yourself that your practice contributes directly to these milestones. Finally, celebrate achievements and stay positive. Learning English is a journey, not a sprint. Each day you dedicate to practice, each sentence you speak, and each word you learn is a step forward. Reward yourself for consistency, acknowledge growth, and maintain a mindset that every effort matters. By following this complete approach, morning routine, immersive daily practice, reflection, advanced exercises, vocabulary building, real-life conversations, full-day English thinking, and consistent tracking, you'll achieve fluency faster and with confidence. English will no longer feel foreign. It will become a natural part of your thinking, speaking, and life. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to Whispered Tales for more motivational, practical, and interesting content. Next time, we'll bring you another exciting topic that helps you grow, learn, and achieve your goals. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and remember, you are capable of speaking English fluently and confidently.